Stop what you are doing. Do not take any more trades until you have watched this video. I'm going to be sharing with you my analysis from a technical perspective of what is to come next for Bitcoin. We are here right at brand new all-time highs, and today is going to be massive. I really think this is going to be the biggest day for cryptocurrency in a very long time. So should you be prepared for a big drop to the downside, the fake out of all-time highs, or will we be looking for continuation? We're going to be looking for some very high probability trade setups as we, first of all, let's remind ourselves why today is so big and important. Number one, of course, Bitcoin right now at the all-time highs. As we're speaking, we're in that massive brand new all-time high zone. Number two, and this is a big one, Donald Trump today takes office as president of the United States of America. So noon US time. It's going to be big. It's going to be massive. And we're looking for some, let's just say, volatility. Why? Because on top of that, first two factors alone are very big, right? Factor number three, we got good old TrumpCoin going on right now. TrumpCoin, my friends, as well as his wife getting in on it. So she's got her own meme coin as well. But this coin has just sucked all liquidity from the market. It was great. It was a crazy weekend. If you traded the weekend, it would have been the one that's just gone, because that was a massive weekend of trading. We are going to be looking at TrumpCoin here. As you probably saw there, I'll give you a little bit of a sneak preview before we look at this towards the end of the stream, because TrumpCoin, massive amount of volume, right? This reached billions of dollars of market cap, but it still respects the technical analysis perfectly. Look at that CC from high to low, right into that Fibonacci level for a decrease in price of how much percentage here from the absolute pinpoint high to low day. That's a 24% decrease in price in just a few hours. So yeah, this is respecting very well the technical analysis as well as Bitcoin, of course. So we'll be looking at that meme coin towards the end of the stream. I want to start off here with the love of me for the charts. And that's, of course, Bitcoin, my favorite asset. And that's not going to change. Even with all these meme coins, I'm still going to be here for Bitcoin. But of course, we can take advantage of some of this volatility too. And that's why we'll be looking at those meme coins. Towards the end of the video, I want to start off here, of course, picking up right where I left off my last video, which if there's a video you ever wanted to see, it would have been that one, because we found on stream, and I'm quoting myself here, the best trade setup that I've ever found. We had so much confluence for this to come down into around that $100,000 daily level, taking out the liquidity for a big bounce to the upside. There was one factor that we wanted to see. My words in this video were, we want to see this take a few days. So why did we want to see that take a few days to come down? It was because we wanted the confluence with the anchored VWAP. Well, it went better than expected. It couldn't have gone any better, to be honest, because it took a few days to come down, to take out 100,000 psychological on the uptrend anchored VWAP. It was wonderful. I want to talk you through this and what we're looking at next. I got it because I actually fell in love with this video. I want to play this 20-second clip, which is taken, of course, from this live stream. I was so excited and happy about this setup. 20-second video just to emphasize how good this trade setup really was. Write this down in big letters. We have just found one of the best trade setups possible. We have found a trade setup with amazing confluence, wonderfully high probabilities. The statistics on this will be through the roof. This is an amazing confluence trade setup. It really was. It really was. And if you watched that stream, we had a good old time too. I was saying, put a W in the chat to bless this trade setup. Let's get as much hype and positivity for this one as we can. And everybody with the W's. This guy, TD, new desktop background created. As we all know, we had, say, put this as your desktop background. Why? Because you want to look at it every day to understand what is the best, highest probability trade setup that you can find. And it was this. It truly was this level right here. And if you save that as your desktop background, well, you can now have a new desktop background. Why? Well, with the results of how that worked from the level where we were waiting for it to being tapped for Bitcoin, yes, to make brand new all-time highs. It happened. So let's analyze this in a little bit more detail, and then we'll move on to what we're looking at next. But yeah, I think this is worthwhile spending a few minutes on here. So this is, of course, given on the live stream here on YouTube. And in the Discord, I'm just reminding myself that for me, this is a compound. What does that mean? It means, well, I have longs already from lower. I've been building my longs up now for a while, right? So as we come down and take out $100,000, I wanted to see that little move through the liquidity. I will add to my long trade. So it's not like I'm trying to enter with a tiny stop loss. No, I've already got a swing long open from lower. As we come down and hit that level, I add to my long, and actually added massively to the long here, biggest position, added to that long trade, and that just brings up my overall average price with my invalidation still quite a bit lower. So the way I approached this, this was from the Champions group on Friday evening. Just reminding myself that this is really a wonderful confluence for the long trade, for me to compound, as I'm already in some longs. And yeah, it was just a case of remaining patient then for the drop, most importantly on that uptrend anchored VWAP. I do go on to remind my team that I am definitely very bullish on Bitcoin, and I do believe we're going to be making all-time highs very soon. It actually only took a few days. So my bias, of course, here is very bullish on Bitcoin. And on top of that, I emphasize even greatly, and that shows in my trading positions. I'm already in my longs, right? I have no short trades open at all. Okay, no short trades. I have all my long trades still open. So my bias is bullish that new all-time highs are going to be coming, but I'm also positioned for higher. So I have my underlying bias, which I think, okay, we're going to be going higher. And I also have my trading positions showing that. So putting my money where my mouth is, so to speak. No short trades, all longs. And I really wanted to see that drop. Why? To compound big of this long trade opportunity. With all those W's, how could it not? So yeah, we saw that retracement, and just to remind you of that confluence that we saw there, because this is what made it good. It was that confluence. We had the local CC, and I'll do it in order of importance with the smallest to the biggest factors ending. We had the local CC from low to high, a nice level, but not the biggest, right? We then had the local uptrend point of control, which was from low to the high at the time. Again, a nice factor, but not the biggest. So that point of control also around 100K. Then we had the overall range value area high. So from November, middle of November to now, we had that value area high. Again, a nice factor, but not the biggest. And this is what is going to be the icing on the cake. The daily, again, a nice factor, but I would say not the biggest. This is where it's massive. The understanding of how liquidity works in this market. So we, of course, broke through $100,000. And while I'm giving this trade setup, we're trading at $104,000. What is going on right now? How does liquidity work? Well, everybody longing over that period from Friday evening, really, up to Sunday night. Everybody longing there. The majority will have their stop loss below 100,000, and many of them will actually have it at 99,999 because they feel that, oh, if we lose 100K, I want to be out. And so that creates this massive pool of liquidity. So many stop losses. That creates a lot of sell orders. And what can you do with all those sell orders? You pair that liquidity with your long orders, if you're in chart champions, and you feel just a massive, wonderfully large size of a long, because you need to build that liquidity with all the sells, pairing that, because one sell order, you need one long order, right? It's a zero-sum game. So if you want to fill a massive long, you need a lot of sells. So taking out 100,000 liquidity is needed for filling that massive long trade. So the liquidity there was a major factor of $100,000. Like, you're not going to see a bigger psychological level. That is the biggest of all. So 100,000. And really, as I was saying, like, we want to see this take a few days to come to that level. Why? Because of the uptrend anchored VWAP. I've said it many times now. This is my number one best tool of the past now 6 months, a year. Like, I've been loving this every time. It just works perfectly. So I wanted to see it take a few days. So we had that confluence too. So really the daily, yeah, just below 100,000 on the liquidity itself of the psychological level on that uptrend anchored VWAP. I just knew it. I felt it. This is the best, highest probability trade setup that I've ever seen. And yeah, the way that it worked out, yeah, you couldn't have got any better than that. It was perfect, right? It really was perfect. Gave a very nice compound. Even if you're going for a lower term time frame trade, right, you still hold the higher low. So you had the higher low as your invalidation. I just want to say that was one of the best trade setups that I've ever seen. Even locally, let's say you wanted the really tight invalidation, you didn't actually even take out this high low here. So it's just, you had very small invalidations. If you wanted to go that route, I wouldn't go that route, but even if you wanted that, then you had it, right? It was just wonderful the way that worked out. And of course, it did bring us up to new all-time highs. Before I talk about Bitcoin, I want to look at TrumpCoin a second, because this is the magic of understanding Bitcoin. I'm sure a lot of people, when Donald Trump tweeted about his coin here, that got a lot of new money into the market. Okay, people that maybe have never traded crypto before would have saw this and sparked some interest. But I do believe the majority of this volume was cycled through other altcoins. You could see it. You saw the majority of these alts down 10, 15, 20%. And then you saw Donald Trump coin up, hundreds of percent. So a lot of people are selling their alts and funneling it, cycling it all into Trump coin. So, of course, there's a little bit of new money, yes, but the majority is just existing money selling their alts into Trump coin. And that is what caused such a big rise to the upside. But with the understanding of Bitcoin, we knew that this is the level to be longing on Bitcoin, right? We knew this is the support that we wanted to see hit for a bounce to the upside, 2 new all-time highs. So if you can understand, Trump coin is dropping here at the same time as Bitcoin. Bitcoin hits that support level and we're longing for a bounce. So if you use that knowledge of knowing, well, Bitcoin is now going to bounce, you can use that knowledge to long Trump coin and essentially, make your gains vastly bigger. Right? This is a 10% pump on Bitcoin, whereas Trump coin is like 60% pump on the same space. Yeah, but at the exact time Bitcoin's dropping out there at 100,000, Trump coin's hitting down and around its lows here, which wasn't perfect, but we did come into around that CC zone again, right from low to high. You had around this CC. So you do have this setup that I like to see, which is you have a little bit of a harmonic going on now. So I will take a quick look at Trump coin, but yeah, you could have used the information of Bitcoin bottoming out here at 100K, using that information to understand, well, Trump coin, if Bitcoin's going to pump next to all-time highs, well, Trump coin's probably going to pump next, right? And yeah, it got a, look at that 70% pump to the upside. So just crazy. From now to the top of the CC to the low, a 22%, 25% drop to the downside, right? Kind of a massive. And so, this is one thing that I want to say here. Of course, everybody knows of the golden pocket. And I always have questions, Daniel, why do you call it the CC? What's the difference? And of course, if you're in my membership, because I've taught this greatly. But I run my own statistics on everything. I would never take anything else says or said, statistics are key. And I recognize the 0.65, which is known as the golden pocket. Well, everyone in the world knew about it. And you started to see slight margins of price moving through the golden pocket. And that's where I ran statistics. I ran through a lot of different numbers. And 0.66 for me was the highest probability. Okay, I was running 0.66, 0.67, 0.68, 0.69, 0.70. And I ran through it all and I said, what is the best? And it wasn't 0.65, but it was 0.66. And that's why I called it the CC. Okay, the Champions Channel. Why? For me, that small margin, and this is where some people will laugh and mock me. Oh, Daniel, this small margin, what's the point in changing it? I ran my statistics and I thought, well, if I have that small margin, well, I'd prefer that small margin in my favor than someone else's. So, I made the CC. And here on Trump coin, biggest coin in the world right now, right? Billions of dollars of market cap. Look at that. CC respected there to the dollar. And that is the small margins that can make or break a massive, massive trade. So yeah, just wonderful to see the respect of the Fibonacci level there. Couldn't have seen anything better. All right. So with that said, then what I'd be looking for is that reversal CC from low to high, because what we've gone here is really from low to high into the CC, then from high to low into the CC. So now let's see it again. low to high into the CC. And with the new coins here, this happens a lot. It just bounces from these Fibonacci levels until you form what I would generally expect here is a bit of a triangle. So it's already starting, right? You can start to see potentially even if you pull it back a pivot here, a big triangle starting to form. So you can understand that what this is doing is it's going to coil up and build some liquidity for a bigger move to the upside. So, right, if we got this bigger triangle going on, when this triangle breaks, let's say this triangle breaks to the upside, then we can be looking for that follow through towards $90. And if this fakes out and pulls back, well, we can be looking for it to test about $20 where we got the inception here. Okay, wait, this is on Bybit. Okay, so on this chart I'm looking at here is Mexi, but I have been trading this on Bybit. It's just they don't have the ticker on TradingView yet. But nevertheless, okay, different exchanges will have different inception prices. So that's just something to bear in mind. But $20 is the inception here. And that's where I'd be looking for the pullback to if that triangle breaks to the downside. But for now, we can be looking for the longs at the low and the shorts at the high. Of course, I have taken a short on TrumpCoin, by the way, but you have to understand that this is, I would say, yeah, it's very risky. It's going to be a massive day today. You could see this pump to $100, and I wouldn't be surprised. You could see it dump to $20, and I could also say I wouldn't be surprised. I just think it's going to be a massive day, and I think my viewpoint on this coin, when it first came out, a lot of people were saying, oh, this is a scam coin. He's probably been hacked, etc. Of course, I do not think that's the case, but I could understand a bit of the hesitation, right? Especially with the 80% supply. It had a bit of a weird feeling, but at the end of the day, I still feel a bit of a weird feeling, but you can trade that coin, right? There's no reason why you can't be trading it. It's like Beercoin. Who remembers Beercoin? That ended up being a massive scam, but it was one of my biggest winning trades, right? I've traded Beercoin very well, even though it was a scam coin, it ended up being. You know, when I was trading it, I didn't know that, but nevertheless, it's the same here with TrumpCoin. What's it going to be like in a few weeks? Who knows? But you can trade it at the end of the day. What I kind of do feel like is I was thinking, yeah, no, actually this could be like a really cool coin to trade. Maybe they do hold the supply, they don't sell it, they build it up, it becomes, but then his wife releases a coin, and I think personally this is just getting a bit too far now. Like what's going on here? Why have they all got their own meme coins? It just feels like some I would say like get rich quick scheme, but he's already a billionaire. So I don't really fully understand the motives behind this. Like, I don't know. It's a weird one. It is strange. If it was just Trump coin, I could have understood it a bit more. But then when, there's his wife's coin, and then there'll be his son's coin, and then there'll be the Musk coin. I just think it gets a little bit, I don't know. I don't really like it. But again, just because I don't like it, doesn't mean I won't trade it. But I just think it's not great for the space. But yeah, my personal opinions aside, technically, yeah, I do think we'll end up getting a triangle. I would be aware of the CC moves right now. And yeah, be aware, this could easily pump to $100. It could easily jump to $20. It really depends whether we start to see some really, if Donald Trump comes out and says massively positive and talks about it as he's becoming president, right, then I think it'll get a pump because it will add some, people will believe in it more. But if he never mentions it, if devs start to sell their supply, well, this will dump off the face of the earth. But I would be surprised if Donald Trump rug pulled. But stranger things have happened, let's be honest. With that said, back to Bitcoin. So what are we looking at next then? Well, we've had the most epic trade setup we're ever going to see. Will we get another one like it? Well, of course, we will get another one like it. But one of those trades, we might have to wait another few weeks to see another trade that good come up. So with that said, what can we be looking at next? Well, to be fair, we can still keep on that uptrend anchored VWAP, right? So what that means is if we get a pullback, we can still be aware of that level as a support. I'll be now pulling this local range. We got the point of control there at 104. Not that overly keen on it, to be honest. The way I would be approaching Bitcoin right now has to be from a lower term time frame perspective. So the way I'd be looking at this now is from the lower term time frame range. If you're a member of Chart Champion, you already knew what I'd be talking about. Lower term time frame ranges. This is what I like to do. Why? Well, we're in a big bit of, let's say, indecision right now in terms of Trump's taking office. Fundamentally, it's a massive factor. Is that going to be ultra bullish on the day? Or is it going to be ultra bearish in terms of a dump? It's impossible to know with certainty. So I prefer to remove that uncertainty and just look at what I feel is a trade setup from the technical analysis. And that's where I like these lower term time frame ranges, right? If you pull back to range low and you get the fake out, well, then you get long trade setups. If you pull to the range high and fake out, then you get a short. Of the two, of course, long is a higher probability because we're in a massive bull market. So with shorts, you always have to be careful. But nevertheless, at the end of the day, you have this local lower term time frame range, which is, I feel, the only range right now that is acceptable to be looking to trade. I think if there's a day that you want to pause trading, today would be the day in terms of just taking a step back. It is going to be affected by fundamental factors. So I do not think it's the worst day to skip. But if you do want to be trading it, which is good, you just got to have some confidence in your trade setups and understand stop loss is massively important. Risk management needs to be on point. I'd be looking to trade this lower term time frame range, which again gives short and long opportunities with that bias slightly more bullish because we're in a bull market. So careful with any short trades. But I would be looking at this local lower term time frame range as the only range that I'd be looking to trade right now. So I think the opportunity, there's some opportunity there, but I don't think there's any good trade setup here locally on Bitcoin. On TrumpCoin, yes, I think this has got some better opportunities. And again, this is tradable on Bybit right now, so that's perfect. So I'd be looking more towards TrumpCoin for the opportunities, like big opportunities. Bitcoin today, I think, is going to be a difficult one, given the day. And given that there's no real high probability trade setup as it stands, right? We're going to have to wait at 24 hours for a good trade setup to show. So in the meantime, I would say, bias has to be slightly more bullish because we're in the bull market, but aware that today we could get a flush. So I think there's a lot of indecision, and that's fine in trading. It just means, put your foot on the brake pedal, take a little bit of a step back, let the market show its hand. As I was talking about in this stream, which, as I said here, I really feel that this live stream from Friday, go back and watch that stream 100 times over. Learn everything that I taught, everything that I've taught throughout my videos, so you know what I will say before I say it. Okay? So that is a good use of your time. Watch through that video, understand why I was so excited about that long opportunity, what made it so good. If you can learn that, then you can replicate it into the future yourselves. So that I really do feel would be a good use of time. Just watch it again, understand why it was so good. In the meantime, I think that sounds better. In the meme time, I think we got the TrumpCoin to be trading today, and wait for Bitcoin to see a resolution out of this lower term time frame range. With that said, I do have another live stream today. So if you want a more focused on just the technicals on new upcoming swing trades, so higher term time frame analysis, I do have a champions live stream today, which will be starting shortly, where I go over the higher term time frame perspective of the crypto, mainly Bitcoin, and explain on a bigger picture where I'll be looking for my next swing long, swing shorts. I go over the higher term time frame, Elliott wave counts, things like that. So if that's of interest to you, I do have another live stream today for the champion members. Other than that, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I really hope that you enjoyed that setup. All the people with the W's, we took big W's in the end, so that was even better. And if you want those updates within the Discord, understanding on my positions, the trades, everything that I'm looking for, about the trades, as well as, of course, the whole educational library from start to finish, whole educational courses, everything that I understood this would be a good trade setup is what I teach in the course, right? So if that's of interest, head over to chartchampions.com and join our trading community today. I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you ever so much. And if you have, Well, I said I asked of not the likes or the comments, but just that you listened. So yeah, if you've enjoyed, watch that live stream from Friday, because yeah, I think the information shared was very, very helpful. Cheers, everybody. Thank you. And that's me signing out. Goodbye.